Welcome, it's called Cyrus Says. Just reminded by the wonderful man next to me, that's Silvery, our producer, as well as this wonderful man right here, the owner of Marguerite. And let me tell you, this is a star. He's a Michelin-starred chef, which I think is the first we've ever had. Or maybe we've had one before, but we have to double check that. But yeah, wow. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, honored.
Sir Michael Wilson. All right, so this is the introduction. We're at Marguerite here in Singapore, lovely restaurant in Gardens by the Bay.
Yes.
Which is a huge property. It's the size of Delhi, just unbelievably large.
Yeah, very big national park.
Yeah.
So right now we're inside the Flower Dome. Mm-hmm. So it's a gigantic biodome. I'm sure you'll get video from the outside.
We did. We lost 2 cameramen because of the cardio issue. It was a lot of walking. But yeah, we've got everything. And now we're here to concentrate on you and your career and your life. You insisted to talk about all the great things you've achieved, so I've written them down.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. I have a PR manager to report to.
Yeah, I know. There's some ambient sound which reminds us of Wankhede Stadium for some reason, or Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is his habitat. Not anymore. You're now a Singaporean.
No. I'm still Australian. I'm Australian. My wife's Indian.
I heard that.
For Christmas, I bought her an Australian cricket jersey.
Really?
Yeah, the one-day version.
Yeah.
Full yellow.
Yeah, just to rub it in?
Sometimes she wears it to bed at night.
Okay, that's too much information, Chef. I thought we were going to talk about food here. The mating habits of individuals across the nationalities and races. Yeah. So you settled in Singapore, but a little bit about the background. You first worked in China?
Okay, so I started cooking at the ripe old age of 16.
Wow.
Before that, actually, at the age of 14 and 9 months, you're allowed to work in Australia part-time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't come from a wealthy family, so I have a lot of siblings. I was a big basketball fan. So I wanted money to buy new trainers for basketball and stuff. So I started washing dishes in a local restaurant. And then it just spiraled from there into doing an apprenticeship and leaving. So by the time I was 19 years old, I was qualified, finished all my school, everything. And then went and worked in some great restaurants in Melbourne with some big chefs there. And then at 27 years old, I was approached to go work at a boutique hotel in Shanghai.
Wow.
Long story short, went to Shanghai, stayed there for 7 years. While I was there, I was given the opportunity to renovate the restaurant and put a new concept in. Did that, got a Michelin star there.
So how does one, sorry to interrupt, how does one get the Michelin star?
Michelin inspectors will anonymously. First of all, you've got to be in the city in which Michelin is operating as a guide.
So not every city, it's like the big cities of the world.
Yeah, I mean, they're branching out more and more now. I heard a rumor they are going to India. Nothing more than a rumor, though.
If they come to India,
for example, it may be Delhi and Mumbai. It may be Bangalore.
You're just showing off that you know all about the damn country because you married one of us. That's not fair. No, but see, for our people, I would think that, are we allowed to bribe? Because without bribing, one doesn't feel comfortable when it comes to awards and these kind of ranks.
This is why I like to be in Singapore. It's very transparent.
It is. It's too transparent.
Ease of business here is why I moved here.
Too straightforward. Okay, we're making light of Shanghai, but it's amazing. A boy from Melbourne lands up in China, which is a bit of a culture shock to different parts of the world. So what was that like, the early years as a chef, earning your way?
Yeah, so in 2012 when I got there, and then in 2019 when I left, vastly different place. Like that place moves at warp speed, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So you're part of the China growth, actually, in that sense. Yeah, you are.
I mean, you can see a picture. Maybe you can insert it in here of the Bund Shanghai from 2007 or 1989, and then fast forward it 10, 15 years, and it goes from just a wetlands into a full-blown city.
Wow.
Crazy place.
What about language issues and all that? I heard from my friends who go there that they have Google Translate and all that, but back in the day?
So when I got there, smartphones were...
Just about.
Yeah, we were around Apple, iPhone 3, iPhone 4 era, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you had Google Translate. You had this thing called WeChat. And then WeChat you could translate. I mean, basic Chinese of working in the kitchen and bargaining and taxis and stuff. Food, no problem.
Can you speak? What is it, Cantonese, Mandarin?
Mandarin is spoken in mainland China, generally everywhere it's taught. I mean, in the south they still speak Cantonese, but Shanghai has their own dialect, Shanghainese. So years on, obviously I clued on and I could understand a lot more. So then, like, all my senior chefs were all Shanghainese. So then they would switch when they didn't want me to understand what was going on. They'd switch to Shanghainese.
Nice.
And you knew straight away because it sounded like to an ear like mine. They could be speaking Japanese. It was completely different language. Right?
So Shanghai, I suppose that was like the point in your life where you sort of learn the ropes and then go beyond because you're working different cultures, different people.
That was my first head chef job.
And mixed cuisines, what's your specialty?
Shanghai was challenging. It was a hotel with 230 rooms. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful hotel. It was called the Bhule. It still is called the Bhule. And they had one restaurant. That restaurant did breakfast, lunch, high tea, dinner, and room service. And it was a 100-seat restaurant. It was very, very challenging, but you learnt a lot.
So, is it like a continental thing, what we call continental, where it's just basically everything from the West, or is it?
So when we did the renovation and the new concept and put it in, it was a French concept. Yeah.
By the end?
What we kind of figured out was in scenes of, you're better off in a foreign country to label it and to package it in a way where it's not going to be misconstrued. So you say this is a French restaurant, that's it, it's a French restaurant.
Right.
But if you turn around, because being Australian as well, right? People go, do you cook modern Australian food? I'm not actually sure what this is.
Yeah,
right?
No idea.
I'm confused by it. I've spent, more than half of my career outside now.
But is there anything ethnically Australian? What is it? Kangaroo meat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, there's lots of different seafoods, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, but you have snapper in Australia, but you have snapper in Europe, you have snapper in the Mediterranean. Abalone comes from here, there, and everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So when you talk about modern Australian, I think that they're kind of 20 years ago. That was almost like fusion, right? Now we call it fusion confusion.
Right.
So it's not something that I think yet.
So when you get the star, is it for the restaurant's cuisine or is it for the chef?
The star belongs to the restaurant. The star is awarded to the restaurant.
But you were the head chef there. So
yeah, correct.
So you're the Michelin star chef. It's good to know. Information for everybody. Yeah. Is that right? Because I talk a lot of rubbish anyway, so they won't believe it. So it's on you now.
That's correct.
It's correct, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Authentic chef's version of it, not mine, as far as we're concerned. All right, let's move it along or we'll be stuck here forever. What is this? Thank you.
You've got there. So a big thing that's come up in recent years is something, temperance beverages, so non-alcoholic beverages. So a lot of people on a health kick, they don't want to drink.
It's called glucose issues.
So what as a restaurant, right, in all honesty,
you
need people to spend money on beverage.
Absolutely.
Right? So what we've done is we have a whole flight of non-alcoholic beverages which have gone through quite the process. I mean, these things take a long time to make.
They look very alcoholic-like.
Yeah.
This color's winey.
Yeah. So this one there, you've got our rosé, which is made with blood oranges.
Able to do my French accent?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's a rosé.
Can we talk in the French accent? Then judge who's better.
So you try this one first.
Yeah.
Blood oranges. Mm-hmm. Rosemary and rose water from France.
It's lovely.
And it's just gone through a process.
It's really good.
Quite a process of clarification. Mm-hmm. So this one here.
I can have
my one.
Thank you.
This one is, if I'm not mistaken, this is green apples that they've been clarified. They have been infused with hay, as in what horses eat. And they've been infused.
Well, I've been called one.
With perella leaf, otherwise known as shiso leaf.
Wow.
So like a kind of mint.
Nice. Almost beer-like. Shandy-like.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's so you still get the complexity of a drink that can go with food.
Now let me do the jungly desi thing where we drink both. This is stronger.
Yeah, so this is the first one in the flight. This is the first one. And this is towards the middle.
I got it.
So we've got something else here for you to try.
Yeah?
So this is a...
I'm feeling pressure.
Schalzema.
Yeah.
So he's going to give you some... you can use chopsticks, right?
Oh, of course. Can use chopsticks. Okay.
So we went on a trip. We went on a trip recently to
Thank you.
do a pop-up in Saigon in Vietnam. So we have a dish on the menu which is a prawn noodle. So what in the past,
Prawn noodle. I love that.
the noodle is made from the prawn tail, and then nothing else. Say there's no flour. There's nothing like that in it. It's just a specific kind of prawn. It's from New Caledonia. But then when we went on this trip, we worked with them to make a prawn pho. Are you familiar with pho, the Vietnamese soup?
Am I familiar with pho? Of course.
Okay, so it's a prawn broth. It's infused with spices in there. You've got coriander, fennel seed, black cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper.
Chef Michael, this is going to take 15 minutes.
Just pull it apart.
Oh, okay. You spear it. I hope. Oh God.
I can give you tweezers if you like. So the novelty
Almost
here,
done.
Yeah. So the novelty here is that you're eating the meat as the noodle, and then pick up the bowl and try the soup itself.
Okay. So the meat is in the liquid, is it? It's almost liquefied.
No, what do you? The noodle is the meat.
The noodle is the meat.
Yeah.
This is prawn.
Yeah.
What kind of pornographer are you? What the hell are you doing? Oh my God. Let me just check
That is the
Let me check
prawn.
that.
That's the prawn tail. It's been blitzed, passed through a fine mesh sieve, vacuum sealed, cooked very briefly, and then cut.
It's interesting. I could have gone with noodle as a noodle. But once you say it's a prawn, then I do get the taste. So I'm wondering if I wouldn't know.
It's for all our gluten-free friends, eh?
Is it? Okay, while the fight continues, let's go back to the life and times of Chef Michael Wilson. We may have to take a break. I've just been informed we're talking too much. We've hardly got anything out of him. We may have to do 2 parts because you're still in Shanghai. We haven't got you out of Shanghai to the second half of your career.
Right.
We'll do that just after the break. Let's get back to your life and times. So how did you land up in Singapore? How did that happen? What happened?
So Lo Lik Peng of Unlisted Collection. I met him whilst in Shanghai because he has restaurants in Shanghai as well. And I wanted to do my own thing, my own concepts. I was looking for an opportunity to work with someone, and the stars aligned. We moved here.
But you choose Singapore, and of course we're promoting Singapore, we can't deny that. But choose Singapore because it's sort of like, it's almost like a universal city, right? I suppose New York, Dubai, Singapore.
in a few different reasons. In terms of like the culinary scene, it's like the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
You got access to the best restaurants, the best ingredients, so on and so forth, right? There's a geographic location as well for me and my wife to
Right.
see each other and see each other's families and
How
everything.
far is Australia from here?
7 hours.
And India is 5.5.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's okay.
Good thinking when you want to break. And all right, so let's get back to the highlight of the dishes. So we've got the canapes then.
You can see through, there's like 7 courses, there's many different things. We don't repeat flavors through the menu, right? So once you've eaten a specific flavor, you're not going to get that flavor again. We're in a very tropical climate, right? It's hot.
Yeah.
So cooking European food, you have to be very, very conscious of how the food is prepared and served. Because if it's too heavy, people are not going to feel very well, right? They've got to walk back outside into 30 degrees. Inside here, yeah, it's cool. Like we're the only restaurant in the city that has heaters inside it, right? Those black strips are heaters.
Oh wow. Why?
So this here, you've got a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So king crab, the lettuce gazpacho. So there's a lettuce soup made from about 13, 15 different condiments, amur caviar, a labneh veal, and some fresh herbs from our garden, right?
Well, I must. Continue talking while I break through and destroy this delicious dish that you've presented so uniquely. And now it looks like keema pao because I've messed it up.
It's okay. So you took
Very good.
king crab, caviar, luxe ingredients like lettuce and salad leaves and stuff, very humble ingredients, but like put together in the right sort of levels of acidity, creaminess, and texture. They all work very well, right? And again, it's something that you're clearly a healthy guy, right?
I can eat loads of this. I don't know. Is it healthy?
Very,
Oh, also this.
very, very.
Very tasty.
Like it makes you feel good after you eat it, right?
Yeah. Lovely. Let me have a sip of my rosé. Okay, chef, let's break from Marguerite for a minute. Let's talk about your life in Singapore. So, we're all about exploring Singapore here and finding ourselves, in a sense. Wonderful city. People are straight up. Everybody, respects everybody. There's no fear here. What do you do? How do you pass time in Singapore? What are your distractions?
My biggest distractions, I've got 2 dogs. So when I'm not here, I've got to entertain them. Because we live in an apartment, right? So, Mondays we'll go to the beach, take the dogs to the beach. After you go home from the beach, you got to shower the dogs, right? So you got sandal over them.
Yeah.
So that takes up half your day, right?
Yeah.
Then meet some mates, catch up, just relax.
But you had a dog restaurant as well, right? Or dog-friendly restaurant?
Yeah, we had a gelateria, a cafe gelateria. We're in the process of looking for a new location. It's called Milo's. Milo's my golden retriever.
Oh, wow.
He was in India for a while as well.
Really?
About 18 months he stayed in India.
Didn't like the country? Decided, let's move to Singapore. But I've got 2 dogs as well, and I can totally understand the whole idea of a dog owner or dog lovers want to take the dogs everywhere. I don't like going out because people don't let the dogs in, to a social gathering.
Yeah.
So, do the dogs get fed? That's what I wanted to ask you. Can
Yeah,
we
we make
feed the dogs?
we make dog biscuits. We make
excellent.
Icy pole, in Australian we call it an icy pole, a frozen lolly. I don't know what that's called in other
It
languages.
sounds very sexual.
Popsicle.
It's a frozen lolly or a popsicle.
Yeah, so one with bone broth, one with mango and yogurt.
Well, that's superb. So you can actually go out to this restaurant and the dogs can eat, you can eat in your
Yeah, you
mates
can get a really nice gelato and the dog can get a mango lassi popsicle.
Wow.
And it's a good thing for the community as well, right? I mean, not everything has to be expensive. Good doesn't have to be expensive. He's prepared something else for you.
Oh, okay. What is that?
This is Australian kingfish. It's been seasoned with wild strawberry vinegar, dwarf tomatoes, and chai flour. So dwarf tomatoes are actually tomatoes from a dwarf plant.
Okay.
So they're at their full size.
So there's a tomato this size.
Yeah.
You can see it. Let me try. There you go. I think we'll have to shoot all this separately if we can.
Yeah.
So they can get these pieces. Okay. I'm sorry, I eat like a dog.
Just put it all in your mouth at one time.
Yeah. All right. Chef, that's great. But as we end, there's one thing we have to do. We have to go to Changi Airport. And there's lots of things that we have to check out.
Oh, yeah. Please.
So we're off. Well, we're going to go there and check things out at Changi. Sorry.
Jewel.
Chef, apparently we have to go and check out Jewel Changi. Have you heard of it?
Jewel, yeah, it's the one with the big water feature.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
People will sit around it.
Yeah. And what do you do there?
They shop and then they buy food and then they look at the waterfall.
And then they get hungry and come to Marguerite and have a great dinner.
Send them my way.
There you go. All right. Okay, Chef, we have to discuss this. You're an expert yourself. So, what your favorite dining places?
Okay, so for tourists, right?
Oh, for you.
Okay, if I have people come in from overseas, pardon me, this is where I'm going to take them. Black pepper crab, King N Ki, otherwise known as Kek, K-E-K. Great place for black pepper crab. Chinese dim sum, Lei Garden.
What about Indian?
You want to come here to eat Indian food?
No, I just thought it might help the market, but okay.
Mutu's probably.
What is that? Muthuswamy.
Mutu's on Racecourse Road. Yeah, the dry lamb curry.
Okay, the dry lamb curry at Mutu's.
Yeah, it's super, super good.
How can you have a dry lamb curry? Curry's wet.
Well, I don't know what the technical
Mutu!
word for it is. Ask Mutu.
Go call him here.
Ask Mutu.
Oxymoron. It's a dry curry. Okay. What else? Marguerite, of course. Yeah.
Definitely come to Marguerite or Hortus upstairs. Hortus is our casual Mediterranean restaurant upstairs.
All right.
There was another casual.
Japanese, Korean.
There's a restaurant in a place called Dempsey Hill.
Dempsey Hill, we were there.
You were there?
Recently,
Okay, there's
yeah.
a place called Candle Nut. This is good for Peranakan food.
Right.
Okay, so they do really, really good beef rendang.
Oh, I love rendang. But we went to Jumbo.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that good?
I've been to Jumbo several times. So if you went to have crab?
Yeah.
Okay, next time you go to KEK. I
that's-
have black pepper crab. Don't fall into this chili crab
KK
trap.
is the... Oh, yeah, everybody keeps saying that.
Once you have black pepper crab, the complexity, the fragrance, everything is like,
So the chili crab isn't chili for us
no.
because we like it chili,
Get the black pepper one.
which is more chili actually.
It's more spicy, but it's more fragrant and more peppery, and it's far more chili crab. I would say it like this way. I don't want to offend anyone. Chili crabs for kids, black pepper crabs for adults.
Wow. That works with me.
That's how I see it.
All right.
Okay.
One last thing, specialities from the Marguerite menu.
First, sorry, I've got to give you a couple of high-end restaurant tips. So, one, modern European, summer dining, British chef, up and coming, very, very good.
British chef.
He's a British chef.
Okay.
And another one called Art di Daniele, Italian restaurant in National Gallery on the top floor. Mm-hmm. You have a beautiful view of the Padang. So Padang's like a traditional sports field here. And he probably does like some of the best Italian food outside Italy.
Where do I get the best steak?
So maybe something like Wolfgang's.
Ah, sounds nice.
Yeah, but this is American and it's aged, so it really has a bit of a cheesy smell to it. So if you're into that, it's good. If you're not into that, don't go there.
All right.
Yeah.
Specialities on the Marguerite menu.
Okay.
What do we look forward to when we come here?
What do people look forward to? Definitely.
What are you most proud of? I mean, it's a difficult question, I understand, but what?
We have a little saying amongst some of us that like lose the paranoia, lose the edge. So don't get too comfortable with anything you're serving, right? Mm-hmm. It's important that like, say signature dishes, right? If you've got a signature dish that's always on the menu, it's always going to occupy one spot on your menu, which will affect what happens before and after it.
So you don't want a star dish?
We have plenty of star dishes. I mean, but when we change it, so that noodle dish has been like a big star. We used to do a duck dish where the duck face was still on and we hollowed out the whole neck and made a sausage. Then it'd come to the table smoking and then the duck, you would see its face like, hello, this is Frank, and Frank would get cut up and put on your plate. That started in China. You sound like a meat eater, you'd love it.
I know, but it's sad.
Yeah, no, not really.
I like Frank.
Yeah, Frank was cool.
Can we call the duck Vishal? There's a guy I don't like called Vishal.
Okay, so
We cut Vishal up.
Vishal sausage.
There you go. That sounds worse. Vishal's sausage, huh?
There's lots of different things that we do. It's just, I think you have to maintain balance through the menu more than any one particular dish. But also too, if you're following a season and that dish is more geared towards winter and you're following a summer season, then you probably need to take it out.
That's fair, but I'm just thinking, don't people have word of mouth where they say, have you had this dish at Marguerite, which is the standout dish or whatever? Doesn't that help restaurants? Don't they become famous because of that?
Yeah, I mean, the big one recently would be the prawn dish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's it called?
Obsi blue prawn tagliolini. Tagliolini.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that your creation completely?
Yeah, they all are.
Oh,
Like we pride ourselves on having very, very original cuisine. Mm-hmm. Our life experiences and our travels and what we expose ourselves to. This is going to dictate what goes inside, right? And then also going to dictate how our brain works to reinterpret everything.
so who's the better cook at home, your wife or you?
Okay for my wife. She's the best.
Correct answer.
You asked for beef first, so let's eat the beef first.
Snake.
So you've heard of a French dish called steak frites?
I think so.
So potato tart shell, raw beef, seasoned with horseradish and like tartar components. On top, there's like the emoji quail egg, right? So
This is the smallest egg in the world. Okay, I want to drop it.
So don't try bite it. Just put it in your mouth and go in one go.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can taste the meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talk about we haven't really touched on it, but like one of the questions that I was briefed on was like sustainability, right?
Right. Very important.
But I think that in a restaurant, you first must have to learn sensibility before you try be sustainable. Because sustainable is thrown around like a cricket ball, right? Mm-hmm. Tossed from one person to the next.
Absolutely.
And it's like it's almost become a buzzword. To be truly sustainable is not something that one can take lightly. So like sensibility, okay, here is something that we call sensibility. The cake at the bottom is a French cake called a financier, but we've reinterpreted it into a savory form. So it's made with duck fat. It's made with a kind of sugar that's less sweet. And then there's the pate made from the liver. Then there's the duck breast from the foie gras duck, which has been salted and cured for 70 days. Then on top, to cut everything, is a fruit leather made from cherry. So we call it duck cherry. And then we just like trying to use as much of the duck as possible.
So the idea is to be sustainable, but you can't be fully sustainable. You've got to be as sustainable as you can be. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone did 5% rather than the extremes of the world doing 150, right?
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't even be a conversation anymore.
I agree with you, and I've done my bit. I stopped bathing. So I don't put the geyser on, I use less water.
That's what the smell was.
Yeah, that's the smell. But for that price of smell, I've done my bit to save the environment. Come on. It's not the worst thing in the world. If everybody stopped bathing, if you all stop bathing, we've done our 5%. Yes or no?
I mean...
Water, geysers, those kind of things, already.
It'd be 5% of power on water, yeah.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
Done. So from today, chef endorses it, no more baths. Children, if you're watching, no more baths.
Unless you're about to come to Marguerite for dinner, please have a bath.
Just use deodorant. That's not very wise. All right. We'll leave you. That's Chef Michael Wilson. It's called Marguerite. It's here in Singapore, in Gardens by the Bay. You got to check it out. Come here. Enjoy this city. Enjoy the food. Tell them I sent you.